welcome to the next episode of Woodward's Watercolours. If you can see that I am slightly excited, you would be absolutely right, because this little tin that I am holding is a bespoke that I picked, a selection of 12 colours in the Derwent Inktense Watersoluble pencils, and I am very excited to try these out. I haven't actually tried them out yet, so I have no idea what these colours are going to be like. So come with me, and we're going to have a play around with this quite interesting tonal range. I'll give you a bit of an insight into the colours that I like. I'm going to try them out because I've never done it before with them, and then I'm going to draw a scene using them. So come with me, and we're going to try these 12 water-soluble Inktense pencils out together. So here is the 10 of the 12 colours that I selected from the Derwent website. Now, there's a US website and there's a UK website, and it just is really exciting to me that actually you were able to build up your own range of colours out of a really good variety of these water-soluble Derwent Inktense pencils. So let's open up this tin now. So I love that it comes in a tin. I'm a serious sucker for a tin. Cost wise, it was about £30, and I think that the delivery was a couple of pounds, maybe £3 or £4, £5 at the max to get it here. But worth every penny. So we've got green, aquamarine, beech green, amber, tan, oak, Payne's grey, my beloved Payne's grey, dark cerulean, sea breeze, olivine, Sicilian Yellow, Sienna Gold, and light olive. So I am super duper excited. They're all, you can see they're all the manufactured kind of sharpness, so they've never been used before. So we're going to start with the green aquamarine. So I'm just going to go down through them here and lay down the colours on this little swatching bit of watercolour paper. And we've got amber, and this tonal range, these kind of almost muted, very earthy kind of tones will really tell you nearly where I live, because so much of Northern Irish colours are like this. And I find in the set that I had, the sets that I had got before, I was missing these kind of colours. Now, I could have just remained with what I had, but I am absolutely delighted to be able to buy these and to experiment with them. So we're down to the sea breeze now. Then we've got the olivine. Just 3 more to go after this. The Sicilian Yellow. I'm so interested to see what these are like when I add the colour to them, because the Inktense water-soluble pencils explode when you add colour to them. So I'm really interested to see what this is going to be like, and that's the finishing with the light olive. Okay, so we're using a Seawhite of Brighton number 18 flat brush. I've got my little Faber-Castell collapsible pot. So this is green aquamarine. Let me agitate that a little bit more. I love the pigment release on these, and the fact that whenever they're wet you can just draw that pigment across. Those top two are quite rich. My goodness, that's the amber. So sorry, that was green aquamarine, beech green, and amber. I'm getting too excited to keep going down here. So this next one is tan. Some of these are just going to be very subtly different. The tan is just that little bit darker than the amber. This next one is oak. I'm really interested. Oh, look at that. Now those two have blended together. That oak is lovely. I'm going to be able to use that quite a lot. You know what? I'm going to switch out the brush size to something a little bit smaller so that they're not going to run as much. And then we come to my beloved Payne's grey. Look at that. Now that is beautiful. And I'm going to do the flick test with the Payne's grey. Look at that. Love that the Inktense release that pigment and then hold it so much that you're able to splash it quite freely. This next one is dark cerulean. My goodness. Then we've got olivine. Next up is, oh, I missed out one. Sorry, nope. So that was Payne's Grey. Let me get reorientate myself. That was Sea Breeze. That was, have I missed out on one? Payne's Grey, Dark Cerulean, there we go. Sea Breeze, this one is now Olivine. Apologies about that. Quite a nice light one. Then we've got the Sicilian Yellow. The Sienna Gold. Oh, now that's a lovely rich one. That reminds me of like quinacridone. And then the light olive, which I think I'm going to really enjoy as well. Yes, that's lovely. So these were the subtleties of colours that I was looking for. Now I'm going to turn this around so that it fits the screen just as I bring this up. Aren't they just wonderful? This is the thing that I love about this effect. I am most pleased with the Payne's Grey. Look at the spread of that and how that's dropping into the little pockets and bumps in this cold pressed paper. This is 350 GSM watercolour paper, and that's what I'm going to be using to be able to draw what we're going to look at together tonight. So I'm just going to get organised and we'll jump into doing that. You'll be able to find the reference image on the community section of my page. So I'm very excited to get going with this drawing. Okay, so the scene that we have is in the Mourne Mountains, and it's close to the saddle in Donard. And there was another video that I did. It was looking at willow charcoal, where I was looking at this area, and I used the charcoal just to sort of bring out the different contrasting areas of where the brook was and the stream was and all sorts of things. So I'm going to bring some of that in again. So this is the part of the saddle here, and it's called the saddle anyway, and just a part of Slieve Donard. This is in Newcastle in the Kingdom of Mourne. If you've seen that other video, then you'll be a little bit familiar with that. And I'm just trying to lay down the foundation, nearly using what is almost a bit of continuous line. And the colour that I'm using for this outline is light olivine, to basically bring the shape and the initial structure. So we've got this path going to the side, and as the boulders get closer to us, then they're getting bigger, which is a really interesting way of building in perspective. So I'm just trying to find the path here. So I tend to move the pencil around, as I said there, and almost a kind of a continuous line style. Now the dominant colour that is in this is green, and it'll make sense to you if you look at the area of Northern Ireland and the surrounding landscape. Then you'll see why I was looking to, that's a little bit steeper there, why I was looking to get these colours, because so much of our country has so much green. Okay, so what we're going to do then is I'm going to take a little bit of the Payne's Grey. Payne's Grey is going to feature very strongly, and we're just going to get in some of the, so there's the lines of these steps which just look like sort of just slightly higgledy lines, because they're made up of steps along here. I've got these rocks along there, using just different strengths of line, leaning in that a little bit more heavily with the Derwent Inktense pencil to build up a little bit more of the idea that there are lots of bricks along and, you know, stones across this, making up this path. So I don't want to get in every single stone. I just want to observe a few, and as they get closer, then obviously the rule of perspective is that the closer that it is to you, that the larger that it really becomes, the closer that it gets to you. So just drawing a few of these in. Hopefully you're starting to see them get that little bit bigger. They are irregular in shape, as you can see here, just picking up on a few and right up close to here. Now in the sky, it is a grey sky day, so I am going to use some of the Payne's Grey in here to give that kind of effect, changing the direction as I go. And then I'm going to be able to play about with this as I add the water to it, to these water soluble pencils. Okay, so next thing that I want to do, now I can refer back, I should bring this over, because this is going to be quite helpful to refer back to what the colours actually do. So I'm going to take this Beech Green, which is this one here. Have I got that right? I think I do. And I'm gonna, so there's a line in the sky across here. Just want to bring that in that little bit stronger. Now that I've got the structure in, I want to be a lot freer with the marks that I'm making. So I'll deliberately hold the pencil up, the shaft of the pencil a little bit more to give me a little bit more freedom. As you can see, I went in a little bit closer there to get that little bit more of a measure of control. And then there's some lighter greens in there. So what I want to do is take the Payne's grey, and I am hoping that they're going to mix quite nicely together. There's some just kind of darker areas across here. Okay, so we'll just mix that there. Okay, then we have, I'm going to take the Olivine. The Olivine green, did I grab it from, I forgot it. Have I moved these around? So that was the light olive. So the light olive, I think, I'm losing my place. Anyway, so let's keep going. So I want to take the Olivine to be able to find this kind of lighter tone across here, because it's going to get darker underneath that. Then use the Olivine across here as well. Now, in this area as well, there is that lighter Olivine tone, and just in a couple of areas across here, just finding it in all sorts of different areas as we go. And I remember that bit sticking out. This color range that I now have in these Inktense pencils is really going to suit so much of the landscapes that I like to draw, because I'm from Northern Ireland, and it has these kind of muted, well, grey is muted, but muted greens and browns, and the oak is really going to be something that really adds. It's another, feels like another string to my bow, really, effectively. Okay, and I've got the Payne's grey, which is going to show up in some of the dark areas here. Feels like the stream is coming down. It's along here. Okay, and then I want to go for that. Now the oak, which one was the oak? Was the brass. So the oak actually looks green under that light. So I want to, let's go for that, the Beech Green across here. But what I'm going to do is, with the Beech Green, I'm going to add in the oak on top of that to really just add into some of the landscape as it goes around here. And then that path coming down across, and then really leaning in and turning the pencil as I go to capture some of the darkness of the landscape and the rich verges of what are like, feels like mini valleys within the valley, you know. I just want to try and capture that idea that there's almost like sort of heathery, marshy kind of grass that's happening across here. And I can just play about with the shapes and things to hopefully mix those in together, and then use that Olivine to give the impression that we're coming up close to where these rocks are, and that grass is poking up through there. So the other thing that I'm going to do is add in a little bit of the tan to below some of these, just to lift them up that little bit, and where it's around the rock. Okay, so let's take the tan. I'm just gonna move a little bit of that tan across, and they should mix really quite nicely in together. The other one that will be good there is the oak. So get the oak and just take some of those areas of those, where those steps are. Just adding in that little bit of contrast, finding those darkest places there. Moving this across, and then I've got this darkness underneath that little bit of the path, just that little bit of verge. And I just want to use the tan in certain areas across there to give this idea of depth across. Okay, so that was the oak, and then we're going to take the tan now. The tan and the green, I'm taking a risk in doing this, but I think that hopefully these are going to mix quite nicely together. So now we've got this lighter green, so we're going to go back to the olivine and just bring it across. Now it's just nice and gently, because obviously where I'm putting down thicker pigment like here, then it's gonna should really explode in that area, you know. So that's all I'm looking to do. I'm gonna get this. I want to put a delineation line across here, and then also that line there. And at least mix in a little bit together. Okay, so this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. So if I was to take another risk and take a little bit of the Sienna Gold and just very lightly kind of scratching into some of the areas here, and we'll get the Payne's grey, and we'll get some shadow on this rock here, shadow on this rock here, just let that model across there. Okay, so we're going to now risk it for a biscuit, and we're going to add in the water. So we'll close up that tin, and we're going to go to the nice big seawhite of Brighton brush that I had over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the sky, plenty of water, and just moving that around. So don't want it to absolutely touch the pigment across here, because as you see, it just touched ever so slightly there, and it's just give it a little flick, and it's gonna just leak ever so slightly in there, and it's darker here too, so we just want to let that go with the sky. Okay, now this is the interesting bit to me. What is this going to do together? So I want to be careful that it doesn't touch into the sky, because it will absolutely bleed. Just being very conscious of this, and just moving the brush around. Now you can see where the Payne's grey is really hopefully going to mix in. Just moving the brush around to get the best out of that flat edge brush. Okay, now, and this is here. Now this has there we go, look at that, I'm delighted with that. So touching that line there with the oak, and I may need to keep cleaning off the brush because I don't want the pigments to run too much. So we're looking for, there we go, that nice light green. Lovely, really pleased with that. Good. Now we need to navigate across along the path, because we don't want the path to be overrun with green pigment. And there's some rocks in there, I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just cleaning off the brush again to be able to pick up on the new pigments as they are being released by the water. And the thing I love about these pencils is that you can hold on to the pencil marks underneath, as well as releasing the pigment that is present. So just moving this along here. Please note the way that I'm changing the direction of the brush. I'm using corners of it and using flat parts of it, and just playing around with the multi-faceted uses that we can find with a flat edge brush. It is just so fantastic and enjoyable to use. And then this olivine, that quite rich and believable green, you know, where some of them, the greens can be so vibrant. There's the oak being released there, and as I mix that in, I'm going to get a wee flick of the green just across there. And through this one here. So, I mean, it is one of the best ways to capture grasses. It's just putting that on its end there, and you can see a little bit of that. I think it was the Sienna light. I might be wrong about that, but I think it was the Sienna light that was put down just underneath to see what it would do to the different colours. Okay, so we've tackled the green. Now I'm going to shift to a thinner brush. That one was a size 18. Now we're going to move to, let's go to a size 12 flat shader. And now it might even be too big, but we'll see what we can do here. This is to really try and capture this idea of there being a path here. I think that's doing okay. Wanting to pick up on just certain stones and to leave other stones unturned nearly. And I can take, there's the shadow obviously from underneath, and I can take that, lift that pigment, move it across, and just suggest different areas of stone that I hadn't actually drawn in, just cleaning off the brush there so that I'm not taking that in. And because I can work towards the bottom of it now, then I can actually lean and get a little bit of support. And I just wanted to pick up on just some of these other colors that are present in the stones that are coming closer to us. There, that just touching that just brings so much depth to it, doesn't it? It's just quite remarkable. And I'm just going to do a little tap across. Well, I am really very pleased with that. That's the first go with these colours in a Northern Irish scene, walking up the Sleeve Donard in the Kingdom of Mourne, the Newcastle area of County Down, and I am really enjoying how these colours have mixed in together. The oak, I am most pleased with the oak and the Payne's grey and that olivine. Just a really nice way that they have worked in together. So I am well pleased with my purchase. Oh, I am one happy bunny. These Derwent, as I hold it the right way around, these Derwent Inktense pencils do not disappoint. And I am so glad that I invested that 30 quid in getting this pack. It's really gonna add depth and give me more access to colours that I will use so frequently. My value for these water soluble Inktense pencils as I use them and as I demo them in videos like this just continues to grow and grow and grow. This is not a paid video. This is not a video. They haven't sent me these. I bought these with my own money, and I'm just so pleased with them. They're great. So do you have a go at the reference image? I am so interested as always to read through your comments. Do like and subscribe and share, but send me your images to woodwardswatercolours@gmail.com and I'll pop it up in the community and share with others what you're doing. For my portfolio and a link to my Etsy store, go to www.woodwardswatercolours.co.uk and you'll find all the necessary links there. Toby Sketchless and I are going to be doing a weekend in the Cotswolds, and I am very excited to have the opportunity to meet you. If that's something that you would like to do, it'd be great to have you. But thank you so much as always for watching, and bye for now.